G'day and welcome back to Duckzorly Gaming and episode 13 of our Let's Play series on the Valley, the Old Farm. A map brought to you by Black Sheep Modding. Okay, so as you can see, we're down in the bottom of our fields. Our farm is just up there. And where we left off last episode, we'd just started mowing that the grass field just up here, which we've now finished mowing and baling and everything. And we've got our straw harvest over on that far field, which we've now windrowed, and we've just got to bale that one up. And then we're down here, we've got this wheat field here to harvest, and over here we've also got our grass field, which we've got to finish mowing with the big A, and then tether it with the Vermeer and bale that one up as well. So we've got some hay bales from that. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So what we'll do is we'll get the combine going. We'll put him on an AI play course, and he can be up and running. So we'll bring up our HUD, and we'll get all set up. So we're going to dial in 66. Starting location. Well, we're going to do northeast. We want it to go west. We'll do one headland just to give enough room for the tractor and tipper to run around after him. It's set for an anti-clockwise at the moment, which was the problem we had in the last time we used the combine, but we'll now turn that to clockwise. That way the pipe is always out to the left hand side, which means we can access it until it does its east-west runs. Nothing else that needs to be set there. We're okay there. Combine, make sure we're on stop during unloading, which it is. And what we'll do is we'll save this course as well. Once we actually make the course, have a look, make sure all seems to be okay. Might be a little bit. Oh, it'll just run over the grass field. Isn't it the grass field? No, that's no. That could be problematic. Okay, let's redo that one, and we'll do a few extra headers. This one may be a bit more problematic, actually. We'll see what that does for us. That's a bit better. So we're not going to be coming out and possibly running into the road and all that sort of stuff. So we'll set that up as our course. Alright, so what we'll do now is we'll go to first waypoint, drive course. And it just starts just up here just about now. And off he goes. Alright, so we'll jump out, let him go off and do his thing. Alright. So what we might do is we might just go and use the big A, and we'll finish cutting this field, and then we'll go up and bale all the straw. Alright. So we'll start him up. Head on back. And head in. Alright, so I hope everyone is doing fine and dandy on this wonderful it's a Monday evening that I'm recording this. Turn him on. Yes, so we're just getting some episodes all queued up, so we can have some content up a bit more regular than what it has been the last week or so. But part of that mistake was putting 3 mod reviews out in one day. But anyway, that's all part and parcel of stuffing up scheduling. That's all right. So yeah, so we're continuing on. So by the time this episode comes out, you should have at least seen our new early access on Dusty Dave Modding's upcoming map, Pemberlin Deluxe. It's a bit of a mouthful sometimes. So I hope you've had a look at that and you're enjoying that one. It's going to be a wonderful map, that, and it'll suck a few more tens or hundreds of hours of game time out. But check that one out. I know everyone at the moment is concentrating on the likes of Oakfield Farm, but trust me, when Pemberlin comes out, give it a look. It's not a huge map. It's certainly not an 8 times map or a 16 times map, but it is a good little map. Lots of quality in there, and just the layout and that. I mean, even though it was an extension of Pemberlin, it's just a wonderful map to play on. It really is. Just don't try taking 60-foot headers on there, because you won't get anywhere with them. Also, if we've continued on obviously with our Sherwood Park farm, we're coming through in winter in that series, so we're getting close to the end, and once we get through the end of winter, we're going to sell all our crops and the storage off, which we've already started doing actually in that series, and then we'll carry that over into a new map, new episodes. And what else we got going on? We've got Beaver Creek, the reboot to Beaver Creek on the new version 1D of Stevie's Beaver Creek map. So that's heading along, and the good part with that one is we're playing with that the currently in testing geo for seasons, the South Australian geo, which certainly shakes things up a lot different to the geo we're using here, and certainly makes you have to rethink the way you're going to do your crops. And particularly animal management becomes a lot more interesting with that. But if you want to check that out, then certainly go on over and check out that series and the playlist there, where I go through and talk about the South Australian geo a little bit. All right. But at the moment we're quite busy here. We're just trying to get all of our crops we've currently got now, grass mown, tedded and baled and all that sort of stuff, before we get any rain and before we get to winter. We're almost at the point now where we've got, certainly should have enough bales of grass and hay and straw to manage our animals for quite a period of time. So basically now we'll be looking at using our grass probably to run the biogas, and we'll be just selling off maybe the straw as straw bales, and we'll most likely be selling off a lot of our crops. So our wheat and that we bring in, we'll probably just sell them off just to start making some money, so we can start buying some more improvements, whether it be quality of life type things like different balers and things like that. So we do have to get a round baler and a wrapper so we can do some silage bales, because I'm pretty sure we haven't got any silage facilities on this. Well, I'll have to double check to see what we've got up near the biogas. I can't remember now. I haven't been up there for a while, so we'll certainly look into that. Alright, I'll turn this, and then I've just got to turn something else on, so I'll have to flick away for a second. That's okay, we can do that. We have the technology now. Right, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, so we'll if I had actually kept it on cruise control, we wouldn't have had a problem then. So speaking of which, on the Elgato we'll press cruise control and off we go. Right, so when we finish mowing this, excuse me for a second. Ah, my apologies, I had a bit of a sneezing fit there. There's one of the advantages actually in our shifting from XSplit to OBS Studio. Now having separate audio tracks for in-game and then also for the microphone for the commentary, I'm actually able to separate the sounds. And for instance, when I do sneeze or something like that happens, I can just mute that out, and you'll still hear the sound of the equipment running. So it's not as much of an impact to the overall feeling of the recording. So that's a good thing. Anyway, yeah. So what we're saying is we're going to use the Vermeer on here. We'll rake all this stuff here. We've already done the header. Basically, the premise of that is what I tend to do now. When I'm windrowing or raking and then baling, is I will do at least 1 or 2 header rows before I start to come in and windrow or tether the middle of the field apart from the header. I will collect the header row with the baler or the collector, the loading wagon, and that way it means that when I actually am turning around the windrow or the tether or whatever I'm using, it doesn't affect the rows that we've already done. So we'll do the same here as well. Once I've finished mowing all this, we will bale the outside row, and we'll collect those, and then we'll continue on with the Vermeer on the rest of the field, and then bale all that one up. So I'm not sure if I actually discussed it or we mentioned it in the last video. We did a couple of equipment change outs. We had the Joskin 8 meter trailer for our bale collection previously. We've since changed that out to one of the Flegel trailers, just purely for the fact that it has more of the look of about the timing of this equipment. It's got the wood panel deck, or the timber slats on the deck, and just looks as though it's more akin to the time period of a farm that we're using, the equipment that we're using here, like the old Massies and stuff like that. So that was not so much just a practicality type change, just purely an aesthetic look. I think that's pretty much about it. We haven't done a lot else with changing stuff out, because obviously we haven't got the funds to just go willy-nilly and changing stuff out. Anyway, that's all good. So once we finish this field, let's bring up the map for a second. We, like I said, we still have our cornfields to do, which we've got 65, 24, and 52 was wheat, which we've got to go up and do. 60 was the other cornfield. But the problem is we need money for a corn header. Now I haven't checked to see how much a corn header is. They're one of the small quasars or something. So we'll have to look into that, because we're definitely going to need that. Or else the other option to bring that in is we have to buy a forage harvester and take it as forage. But I think, just strangely enough, the header, the corn header, will be a lot cheaper than buying a forage harvester. So we'll have to make sure we've got enough funds for a new header, and then go off and purchase that. But I'm not so sure. Probably may be lucky it may be tomorrow. Tomorrow's game day. We may actually have our corn crops come in, or it may well even be the day after. So there's certainly no rush to get it, but we will have to get it at some time in the near future. As we did discuss in the last episode too, I think we mentioned in the last episode, we've also got the option of leasing equipment, obviously. Now, I mean, I could have leased a second combine and had a couple of combines running, but I really don't see the need in doing that. And actually, while I say that, that reminds me to bring that down. I'm ready to bring up our glance so I can see what's going on with our harvester as I go off track. Right, so our harvester needs to be emptied, so we'll park the big A at the end of this run, and we'll go over and empty the harvester so he can continue on his merry way. Alright, so I'll shut him off, and we'll head off over here. Alright, So MF Series 600C, our little workhorse we've got at the moment. I really do like the look and feel of this tractor. I'm pretty sure, and Reef, you'll probably correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the one that Reef is used in maybe his Blickling series. I can't remember now, but it looks very similar to the one he was using in his Blickling. That's for sure. So now I sort of understand why he liked it so much. What we might do is, because this will take us pretty close to a full load, we'll just go off and empty this one straight away and then come back and continue on with our mowing. Busy, busy, busy. Be even worse if we had all the fields under our control, that's for sure. But the best part, I mean, that's the reason why in the last episode, or before the last episode, we got those extra couple of fields, the ones we're working on now, just because of the fact otherwise we'd be finding rough to get enough content just to get through these parts of the day. And there is forestry on this map to do, but I really am sort of against doing the forestry. It's just a personal thing. I like this for farming simulator, not forestry simulator. But yeah, so I'd like to avoid doing the forestry if I can. On this map anyway. I mean, I did say I was going to do some on our 24-day seasons challenge, but at the moment I haven't needed to, and last time we were in there we haven't got any snow on the way either, so we may not even need to worry about having to go find some forestry to do without doing anything else. But still very busy at the biogas on that map, so yeah, we probably won't even need to worry about it. Anyways, we come up to the crest of the hill and about to follow our laneway back into the farm. Now we really need to get some serious maintenance done on this road, on this driveway, because it's very, very rough. I brought the small Massey Ferguson in here earlier to pick up the Vermeer, and I was doing about probably 30 kilometres an hour. Admittedly, probably that was still too fast, and hit a rut, and it threw me up in the air and into the fence. So it's a bit rough, just a tad. So what we're going to do is we're just going to drive a little bit more slowly and carefully. Like, it's not a Top Gear episode or a Grand Tour episode if you prefer. Speaking of which, my oh my, didn't the BBC stuff that up. But anyway, we won't concentrate on that too much. Alright. Another 13,000 litres of wheat, which means we should have a reasonable supply stockpiling there now. Up to 30,000 litres, or just shy thereof. It's a shame we haven't got any sunflowers or sugarcane, because that's the funny part. They're buying sugarcane, but we can't sow it. But I think that's only really the limitation on the Geo. I think the map is sugarcane compatible, but maybe the Geo that's stopping that, because it doesn't give us a planting or a harvest, which I'll just pull up and show you just for the sake of those that aren't so sure. So there you go. So sugarcane, it has no planting and harvesting available to it, so it's not available to us to use. Alright, let's head on back down to the field. Bring up our hut again. So staying on the side of the field's much smoother than the track, but anyway, we'll don't want to damage all our grass down here, because that'll be growing ready for another harvest. So you can see we've still got our Ford down here with the baler ready to go. And there's our, over the top left hand side quickly, you'll see our Flegel trailer already loaded up with the bales from the header row, which is what we were talking about earlier, how we're managing that at the moment. And yeah, so we'll just bring this guy back into here. Alright, where's the harvester? Over the back end coming back up by the look of it. Alrighty, so we'll shut him off again. Jump out and we'll head back over again to the big 8 without getting run over. Growing quite attached to this machine actually. It's quite a fun little machine. And in fact this might be the option of what I have to use for our Penblend Deluxe map actually, now I think of it, because the roads and the bridges and the gates are just too small for the big M. Although I do have a John Deere with John Deere mowers. This would fit in quite handily, so we might well just buy one of these for that map once we get a bit of money up. Not that they're that expensive, so we might just do that, I think. So what's the, I was just thinking then, what's the future look like for Farming Simulator 17 for the rest of the year? Well, I know Oxygen David's already working on another map. I can't remember the name of it now. Dusty Dave's working on another one. I think it's called Valley View. I think I know Stevie's working on another map, and again I can't remember the name of that. Bullet Bill I think might be working on another map. I mean, plus there's a whole pile of other guys that are making stuff, but I think we've still got a fair few chances of some good maps to come out and some good mods. So definitely looking forward to the rest of this year until we get Farming Simulator 19 and any news of Farming Simulator 19. I would sort of expect that this upcoming update and DLC, the Roper DLC, will be the last for FS17. It has surprised me in a way if they did bring out another one before Farming Simulator 19 comes out. But then again, there's others that have been around and seen Giants and the way they use Farm Sim. They never know. You may know better than me. What do you think? Do you think there's going to be another DLC, or do you think the Roper one will be the final one for Farming Simulator 17? We'll have to wait and see. Alright, so this is our last run on here. So then we'll pretty much be able to take the big A back to the farm, which we'll do after this episode. Yeah, because the northern field, the field 24 I think it is, we've already mowed. Well, actually, I think what happened with that, I'll have to double check. I'm pretty sure we mowed that. But then we had the rain overnight, and that wiped it out basically. So that field basically was lost. So the output of grass was lost to us, which is all part and parcel of Seasons mod. That was our stuff up. No, I just can't really turn an indicator off. But anyway, so what we'll do is we'll just bring this guy up here. We'll park him on the grass field over here that we've already mown, and he's out of the way then. As you can see, we've stockpiled our bales over here for now. So basically from this field we've got virtually 2 full trailer loads. So that's 24 per trailer load. So it was 21 I think we got on this trailer load. Yeah. So we've got a nice handy 45 bales off this field. So that's not too bad. Alright, so what we'll do next is we'll... he's about to fill up again. So we might go and empty off this harvester. Right, he's down the other end, so we'll be able to drive along next to him and just stop him and empty him off. And obviously we're going to have to look at where we're going to expand to next in relation to our fields. And the reason I say that is because we're going to have to work out, well, do we continue to buy some more fields where our other fields are further away from the farm and sort of have a bit of a cluster of fields in the same area. So while we're unloading, we'll have a look. So we'll go to this. It's going to be better. All right. So do we continue to buy the cluster? So look, do we look at 69, 70, 71 as our next set of fields, and 63 perhaps? So we've got this cluster through here. Or do we look at buying some fields up in here or over in here and extending up and using the farm up here in the northeast? Or do we head over here and use the farm over to the southwest? So that's what you guys can let me know. So what do you think? Should we continue down here on our main farm where we are now and sort of do all this section through here? Or should we split up and have sort of two separate areas and get them going? So let me know in the comments. I might see if I can put a poll up. But yeah, let me know. Be interested to see what everyone thinks. Alright, so we unloaded him. He's off and running again. So now what we'll do is we'll probably end up spending the rest of this episode baling up the straw. With the beacons on the other tractor there. Alright, I'll head on over here to the Ford. Well, I should look to see if I was going to get run over. Okay. Off we go. And we'll go to cruise control. All right. For ease of turning, I think we'll just go every second row for the moment. And that way we also won't have to worry about running over bales really. That should still be nice and neat. So yeah, looking ahead, so we're already running on day 3 now, so we're running 6-day seasons. So for our first 4 days of winter, we have 1 day of snow. So we shouldn't get a really overpowering thick level of snow. And hopefully if that's the only snowfall we get, it should be a fairly easy winter to go through. I guess the advantage at the moment is we don't have any animals, although the thing we do have to realise as well is, depending upon this geo, we'll have to have a look in a minute, is when the cheapest time is to buy our animals. We may have to look at start buying some sheep, maybe sort of go all out and spend all the money we have and take a bit of a risk and start getting some sheep so we can start getting some wool done, make some wool and harvest the wool from the sheep and start making a bit more money, because that's probably the most profitable thing we've got going for us on this map. So at the end of this line here, we'll have a quick look and see what is going to be the best time to buy our sheep. Pigs and cows are basically superfluous to us at the moment. We don't really need to worry about them. Sheep is definitely going to be our priority for this map. But yeah, we'll just see how we go. Right, we'll just line up for the next row. Okay, let's have a look. Alright, so if we go down here for our sheep, well, actually no, the best time to buy them's now. That puts us in a bit of a sticky situation, doesn't it? Alright, let's have a look. What do we got finance wise? Alright, let's borrow 150,000. Like that. And what we'll do is we'll just buy our sheep now. It was definitely now, wasn't it? Yeah. Let's go buy our sheep now. Alright, we won't worry about transporting them, we'll just buy them straight out, and then that means the first thing we're going to have to do now is go and give them some grass or hay. So our sale yard is up here. Or is it there? So sheep and buy. So $172,000. What can we get? 50. That leaves us with about $8,000. Let's back it off. We'll get 45 sheep. Alright. So we'll confirm that. Yes. Confirm that transaction has occurred. Okay, we have 45 sheep. So now we just need to go get the water and the hay. Now the other thing we don't have is, let's have a look. I'm pretty sure we don't have a water tanker. Right, so lucky we didn't spend all that money, because we are now going to need to go and, where's our animals? There. By Joskin. So now we're down to $15,000. All right, let's hope our crop brings in a bit of money. We're right on the borderline straight away, guys. Okay. Let's get this all baled and we can go and sell some of this stuff off as well. So, I guess the next thing now is, have we done the right thing? Do you think buying those sheep now and sort of stripping our money right away is the right thing to do? Well, you know what? Let's leave it on a bit of a cliffhanger. No, it's not really a cliffhanger. And we'll work out for the next episode whether we've done the right thing, and we start working out how much money we're going to make from these fields. So what we'll do is we'll continue on. What I might end up doing is I might finish baling this field. I won't collect the bales, we'll just bale it up, and when we come back we can collect the bales and we can go sell them, and then we'll also set up the animals. So we'll be coming back in this game day, so I don't want any animals to die. We've done that in one series before, and some of the boys that we know haven't let me forget it, so we're going to make sure we don't kill any of the animals we've just bought. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to check out our wonderful communities, 3 Dudes Gaming Network and PCSG, the links to which are down below. And don't forget to like the video, if you enjoyed it. And if not, that's all well and good. And if you are not a subscriber and you wish to subscribe, please press the subscribe button, which will be coming up on your screen very soon. And that way you can join us for more ordinary farming by this old Australian guy, and try and have some fun at the same time. So until we next come back to the farm and try and kill off our sheep, this is Duckzorly Gaming wishing you a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening and night, no matter where you are in the world, and enjoy your farming. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks very much. Bye.